For the last couple of months, my Spyder that always cranked with a grrr began to crank with a grrr, grrr. Okay, so no big deal. Then as I would take it out and ride and maybe stop somewhere and I come back out and get on it, then it might go grrr, grrr, grrr. Well, that was a little more concerning. Well, it kept doing that to a point to where the other day it went grrr, 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 ooh. Now we're starting to get a problem to a point to where I'm liable to find myself in a parking lot somewhere. Now, I'm not that worried about it because I did buy a jump starter or a booster pack, whatever you want to call the thing. So I felt pretty confident that I had that in place to where I'd be able to get out of, if I needed to, I could jump it off. I'd rather not. But then I began, checking on things. So I got my voltage meter out, hooked it to the battery, and it showed I was getting 13.4 volts. Typically, that's pretty good. And so now I'm going, maybe I got a problem other than a battery that I'm dealing with. Well, I went online and looked for information. Finally, the places that I found it, I was able to find something going into directly asking. This is a 2015 CanAm Spyder Limited, RT Limited, and asking questions about, okay, what would that be? And what voltage should it be? Then I went to Facebook site and went into one of the groups that I'm in there and asked the question, what should I be looking for here? And then I got responses, two different responses, both indicating it could be a problem with the battery being under load, that even if it showed being good with full voltage when it wasn't under load, that under load, that could change. Well, I checked that, and matter of fact, that one of the respondents said that if it showed to be under 10 under load, that then you could have a problem and probably have a bad battery, bad cell in the battery. So I had my wife come out and start the bike up while I had the voltage meter attached, and I had a setting come up of, I think, as low as 8.5. Well, also back to the Facebook, where one of the guys had suggested take the battery into an auto parts store and send it to a load test on it. And I did. And their load test came in with very similar. It was less than 10 anyhow. So at that, I decided, okay, I put the battery back in the bike, and then this morning to crank it to show you how it sounded rather than me doing imitations of how it sounded. And here's what I got. Obviously, that was not the sound that I intended to show, or the sound I intended for you to hear. So, what happened? Well, when I had brought the battery home from the auto parts store, rather than putting it back on the Spyder and hooking up the trickle charger to it, which I've done every night, I simply set the battery in a box and left it there until I put it in the bike this morning. There's the difference. And so it shows to me how weak that battery was, that, if I had taken it out, as we often do now, and we take it on a trip, that overnight I would have been dead. So here's the way my day went. Take a look at it. It looked like the battery is giving it up, but honestly, it didn't come as a surprise. It had been getting sluggish on cranking, and I was concerned about it. Had checked some things online, watched some YouTubes, and checked the voltage on the battery. The voltage on the battery, just sitting still, not running, was showing 13.4 volts. But then did a load test on it because that was what was recommended by somebody on a Facebook site. And I would see the voltage go below 10, as low as 8.9. Then again, on Facebook recommendation, took the battery in to an auto parts store and had them load test it. And they also showed that it was low on testing on the battery. So simply showing a voltage check on the battery is not enough if you don't want to get stuck stranded. This morning, I've had the battery out of the bike where I'd taken it into the auto parts store, put it back in the bike. So it's the first night it's not sat on the trickle charger in I don't know how long. And you saw the results of that. So pretty darn sure my battery is shot. I'm gonna go ahead and check a couple other things while I got it here. Of course, the first thing is to open the front, and from here, the battery is back behind this cover, and you can see here's where I do my trickle charger, leave that to where I can plug straight into it. And something down here is where I have my jumper box. So I'll give that a try this morning because I've never had the opportunity, not that I wanted to, but it would be good to know that it works. First, we unzip, and these come all the way down the sides, and then just pull it open. Then you have this plastic cover over the battery, and on these, I just loosen these, finger tighten them, if you will, so that if for some reason I should have to get in, that I don't have to go through a lot of trouble here. Once those screws are removed, then we simply lift this cover out of place, and you can see the battery from here. To check the voltage on the battery, I've simply plugged into the trickle charger hookup, and you can see now the battery is showing 13 volts on it, whereas yesterday doing just like this, it was at 13.4. As you can see, the jumper box is really quite small, and I mean, I carry it with me all the time just in case I have a problem. It's something that I learned from watching some YouTubes actually. And then we'll plug in the clamps here and be ready to give it a try. That's it. Then all we do is turn on the power. If we hit the right button. And we have a full charge, which is what I always like to see. And now we'll hook it up to the battery. Here's what we look like when we're hooked up. So let's see if she'll crank up like it's supposed to. That's not good. So when I checked, the booster box had turned off, I guess, for a time delay, either that or touching a button, putting it in place. So let's try that again. Still not good. I checked to see what the problem was, and the booster box was off again. I had it laying to where it may have been touching the on-off button, so I've turned it around to see if this does any better. Not good. Now I'm concerned with, though I'd rather know it now, that I've got a booster box problem. Now I've pulled the booster box that I keep in the motorhome, plugged it up. Let's see if it does any better. Crossing fingers. Well, I guess that's the good news, that yep, you can jump it off. The bad news, I got a problem with the brand new booster box. The good news, of course, is that I would much rather know I've got a problem while I'm at home than to find out I have a problem when I'm on the road. Back to where we were before discovering the problem with the jump box. To get the battery out, simply take this little rubber piece here, snaps off of here. This piece, mounting bracket comes out. Then you can pull the battery out from here. I'm not a mechanic by any means, but it does confuse me. The new battery shows voltage of 12.46 to 12.47. My old battery, sitting without a load on it, tested higher than this. So it'll be interesting to see how this works now when I go to crank it. Okay, time to install the new battery. So we'll pull the cables out of the way, making sure to get the positive lead out of the way. It kind of grabs right in there. Then I've got my connections for my trickle charger. Something that I've followed the words of Coach Bob, and that he says, leave the positive on the longest. So I followed that, as he says, how is it? Live live longer. So I may have that messed up, but whatever the case, Coach Bob, it stuck with me. And just a word to the wise, don't try to do something better than what the factory did or improve on it, because it seldom works. For some reason, I always have to try though. But where they had it, where it came in through the top on this side, that's what I have to do, because that's the way that the cable allows it all to work. So we'll now mount this side from the top side of it. Now, before I put everything back together, let's see what happens. Time to see what we got. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Something that I have noticed with the new battery in it, the display is actually brighter than it was before the battery went in. So that was something actually I had read in some of the different write-ups, is that particularly on the white background to where it would appear darker. In this case, I mean, it is really quite illuminated. We'll put this bracket back in place. These fit in two slots that are back up in there. I don't know that I could even get the camera in to be able to show it to you. You can kind of wiggle it around till you can feel it fall in place there. And then this comes down over the top of the battery. We have that in place. Then this rubber piece, pull it up and hang it over it. We'll put the cover back in place. These are Torx head screws. I don't remember, maybe 25, 30 number. Again, I'm gonna suggest hand tightening these to where they can be taken off without having to find the wrench. Get a cable up out of the way. I like to bring mine over to the side, just a preference. So, that way I can plug my trickle charger right up. One thing you may have happen, particularly on an older model, like this one, it's 2015, sometimes when doing this type of work, this rubber will come off of here. Don't have a heart attack. It's just a little super glue put carefully up under it, puts it right back in place, all good. I'm going to feel a lot better now about going somewhere and believing my Spyder's going to crank and run when I turn the key. For a lot of you, I know this is very elementary, but I read enough out there in the posts that I see with people that they don't have experience with these things, and hopefully this information can save someone else some trouble, maybe even help you to recognize when you're having a problem with a battery. Hope the information is going to be helpful to you. I do appreciate your watching. Have a nice day.